Hey there, it's Harmony Quaker, and for this video blog, I want to talk a little bit about body image. Um, I know that I'm not the only woman who carries a lot of body shame and who is really hard on myself for the way my body looks. And, we all learn this from different avenues. Some of us learn it from comparing ourselves to models and actresses. I happen to learn my body shame and learn to be really hard on myself from years of yo-yo dieting. When I was 6 years old, I went on my first diet. My mom was obese. She overate. She overfed us, my sister and we became overweight. And she didn't know how to feed us in a healthy, moderate way, and so we went on a really well-known diet plan. I starved myself. I got really skinny. We got off the diet and I gained it all back. This happened several times throughout my life, starting at the young age of 6, all the way up until the time I was 20, when I developed anorexia. There was a time at the end of high school before I started starving myself where I was obese. I was clinically obese. And so when I started starving myself in my early 20s, when I was in college, I developed body dysmorphia, where I couldn't see that my body was no longer obese. I mean, that's not true. So I could look in the mirror and I could see photos of myself and I would go, oh, I look good. And then I'd walk away from these external confirmations of my physical state and I would feel like I weighed 100 pounds more than I did. And when I became a mom, I gained so much weight for each pregnancy. And in my postpartum year, I couldn't get the weight off. And I tried. I tried to eat healthy. I exercised really hard. And I just could not lose any weight. Not knowing why I was so powerless to my body, I really struggled. I struggled with liking myself and I struggled with liking my life. But little did I know at the time that my focus was misplaced. My focus was on my body, and I really just thought, like, if I got my body looking in a certain way, then everything would be fine. So I focused my efforts on losing weight, and then I would continually feel defeated. I was miserable, and food was the only thing that I knew of at that time to help numb the pain of my loneliness. I was in a marriage that wasn't nurturing or fulfilling or loving, and I was miserable, and I didn't want to look at it because I had 2 babies and I had a life with this man. And what started happening for me was that I started going deeper into my own healing work, deeper and deeper into myself, connecting with my true self, and started getting really, really happy. The level of happiness that I accessed as I started to grow was deeper than any happiness that I had ever known. And as I got really, really happy, I started losing weight. I didn't need to turn toward food anymore because I felt so awake and so alive within myself. And so, for my particular story, what was involved was a divorce. The agreements, the unconscious agreements that my ex husband and I came in with, into the marriage with, and into the relationship with, I was no longer in agreement with. And he was unwilling to change in the way that I wanted, and we just wanted different things at that point. And so the marriage ended, and I continued to just grow deeper and deeper into my true self and into my happiness. And in that time, I have developed a physical body that is reflective of that happiness. So I just want to be clear here in saying that not all skinny people are happy. But if you're overweight and you're unhappy with your body, the work, in my opinion, is to get really, really happy. And the way that you use food no longer becomes relevant. This isn't something that people talk about often. However, I'll say that with my history of dieting, what I know today is that when I am connected to my true self and when my heart feels expansive and big, I do not need to turn to food for anything other than nourishment. I don't need to turn to alcohol for anything ever, unless I just so happen to want to have a drink with a friend. I don't need to binge on sugar. I don't need to tune out with television, because all of those things turn off the light of my awareness. And my light of awareness is so turned on today that I couldn't overeat if I tried, because I'm so connected to myself and my source of happiness that there's no way that I can tune out and not listen to myself anymore. And this is the gift that has come from doing my deeper work. I can just sort of cry right now with joy, because I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know that I could be this happy and that I could be this embodied. I often say that it's the most vulnerable thing we can do is to be really embodied. And if I'm disassociated, checking out on food and alcohol and TV, I'm not really embodied. And if I'm not, it is my job to check in with myself and figure out why. Why would I want to turn off the light of my own awareness? Why would I want to suffer at my own unconsciousness? And so today, I'm still in the process of updating my story. I still have moments where I look at myself in the mirror and I can see that, yeah, I look great. And then I walk away, and the moment I feel insecure or vulnerable, I feel obese again. And this is something that I'm cultivating deeper awareness around. And I'm spending a lot of time touching myself in a sensual, loving, kind way during my meditations, so that I can give myself the touch that I want to learn how to receive from another. So I offer this vulnerable share with you today in hopes that you feel encouraged to cultivate your own happiness by keeping the light of awareness on within you. In each moment of our life, we're either turning our awareness on or we're turning it off. And the world needs you to be light and awake. We need you. So from my heart to yours, if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. And so much love, so much gratitude.